I don't think I have a lot of hobbies. I don't know if I would define some of the things that I currently do as hobbies, but I mean, they are things that essentially just like help me spark joy, which is what I try to do, right? Like I just basically look for ways to spark joy because like work can get extremely draining and extremely tiring. And if you don't have ways to just like build up that energy or joy back, then you just like become very soulless.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Pulse of Tech podcast, where we have insightful conversations about building digital products, brands, and teams, as well as explore the challenges of the tech industry. This is Lady Adeni. I'm your host, and I'm super excited to have you guys here again today. In today's episode, we have Aderinsola Oluwafemi. Some people call her Atara, some people call her Fig Mama or
Mm.
just Dairy, but I call her Lefty. I can't remember how we came about this Lefty name, but anyway, she's an amazing product designer who's all about living her best life while also working really hard and being a rock star designer. She currently works at Edenlife and she's just amazing. So we're going to talk about tips, experiences, and we're going to give advice on how you can enjoy your life to the fullest while making it big in tech. So, this is the topic today. It's enjoying your life while working in tech. And it's going to be a fun conversation and probably an inspiring one. So, just stay tuned and join us as we dive into the perfect mix of work and play, or work and all play, or whatever you choose to call it. Derry, thank you for thank you for coming on. We're excited to have you on the show.
Thank you, lady. I actually don't remember how we got like the lefty name. I think like I used to call you my left hand because I don't know, one of us was in a relationship, so like I didn't want to call you my right hand because like that was supposed to be reserved for our partners. So you are my left hand.
Oh yeah, I remember now. Yeah. So left from left hand to lefty to lieutenant. I think the Lucifer show was running during that period, and the guy was always like, "Oh, lieutenant, lieutenant." So I think that's where lieutenant also came from. Nice. Okay, so daring. For those who don't already know you, would you mind introducing yourself and tell us a bit about your journey into the tech space?
Okay. Um, I am doing or Aderinsola Oluwafemi. Lady initially introduced me as Atara or Fig Mama. I don't necessarily go by Fig Mama anymore, but yeah, you can call me Durin. Like that's fine. I am currently a product designer at Eden Life. I've been working at Eden for the past 3 years. And I've been a product designer for the past, like, I think, 4+ years now. I'd have to calculate that, but like, yeah, 4+ or 4 to 5 years. I got into tech like I don't want to say completely by chance because it wasn't like entirely by chance, but then it was just like it wasn't a planned it wasn't planned. So I got into tech in like ending of 2020, beginning of 2021. I'm sorry, ending of 2019, beginning of 2020. I was trying to learn about design and just like trying to improve myself as a designer. And I was just like, you know, joining group chats, um, taking daily UI challenges, just trying out my hands in different aspects of design. I tried to like get into graphic design, tried to get into brand design. Those only lasted like let's say 2 weeks max each, right? But yeah, I was trying my hands at different like aspects of design because I wanted to really improve as a designer. There's like a much longer story where that is concerned, but I don't want to get into all of that. But yeah, I eventually found out about like this thing called UI UX design. I read up on it. I joined the group chats where they were doing like this online class on just like a breakdown of what UI design was, and it just broke it down so easy that it made like a lot of sense. It didn't seem as complex as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was this thing where I needed to know how to code and write like programming languages to like be able to become a UI designer. But the way it was broken down was like it's actually literally just design and thinking, right? Um, so I decided to read up more on it, and I basically spent a lot of time just doing research on like how to better myself and grow in that. I worked on like daily UI challenges and put out my work on Twitter. Got a lot of like really nice feedback from people and sort of just like built a community on Twitter where like I would put out my work, I would get feedback on it. I had like people that I could reach out to like lady here. Like that's literally how we even met. And like we just kept on doing that, and then I initially thought that, oh, I mean, I'm already doing design, I can make it big without like working a full-time job. I can just like go into like freelance design instantly, just like make money here and there without like needing to actually work full-time. Especially because I like really wanted and needed the money. I didn't have a job, I hadn't gone to university, so like I mean obviously getting a job wasn't going to be easy, right? And then it was like, what's the word? I basically got a reality check and realized that life does not work that way at all. So I put it out that I was looking for an internship. Oh, well, actually, I was looking for a full time job, and I realized that I would not really be able to get one, considering that I didn't have like any like certificates or degrees. I didn't have any previous work experience, which a lot of the jobs that I kept seeing, or all the roles that I kept like seeing, were asking for like a computer science degree or 3 years experience, even for junior roles. So I eventually just put out that I was looking out for a product design internship on Twitter, and one of my mentors at the time reached out and told me that he had a friend who was like hiring for his design agency in Ikeja, and they were looking for a product design intern. So he recommended me for that role. I applied for it, and um I got the job, but not as an intern, right? Like I got the job as an actual product designer, and like I spent like about a year, like a couple, I think 8 months to a year there before I joined Eden. So that's pretty much a summary of how my journey into tech began. I mean, there are a lot of things that I've left out because I mean, again, like it's going to be a pretty long story. Like just joining different group
Yeah.
chats, Asha Koteri, all the friends that like I made along the way, how different people just like helped sort of invest in my tech journey and contributed greatly to like who I am today. But yeah, that's a summary.
Yeah, so that's a very inspiring story. I mean, in the intro, I was talking about how this might be inspirational or not, but within the first 5 minutes, it's already inspirational. So that's cool. I just want to say that reality checks are so weird, and they come from the weirdest places, and from they come from
Right?
yeah, they can come from people, or they can come from within yourself, like when you least expect it. You can be sleeping and bam, something just hits you, and the light bulb just goes in your head. You're like, wait, I think I've been doing this. I might be going at this the wrong way. What if I do it this way? Or you might be having like the most casual conversation, and somebody
Yeah.
just says something and then just lights up in your head and wait, what if I, just get a job, reach out to these people, or I need to reach out to this person. What if this person can help me in this particular area of my life? It's so interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go into finding a balance between work and play. I know a lot of people talk about work-life balance, and when someone talks about work-life balance, a lot of people just mean they spend 70% of their time working and 30% of their time sleeping, and aside from that, they would watch Netflix, eat and sleep, then continue working. That is what work-life balance is to a lot of people. So I also like to add in the word play. So work life balance and then work and play. How are you balancing work and play? Are you playing also? Because a lot of us have, I think everybody has an inner child, and as we grow up, we just let it die. We don't do the things that we love anymore. We don't explore,
Yeah.
we don't sightsee, we don't, a lot of people
Yeah.
don't even know that they would want to travel. They would know that they would enjoy traveling or they would enjoy zip lining because they've never tried it, right?
Yeah.
They just work and sleep, and that is what they define as work-life balance. So to you, how do you maintain that sense of work and play?
Um, Let me start by how I basically suffered initially for not doing that. So when I first started working, especially considering that like product design was like my first job ever, right? So it was like my first introduction into corporate life. And it was like, oh, I'm doing something I love, right? So I'm not necessarily like working in some random company doing some random job because like I got some random degree, right? It's like, oh, I got an interest in this particular field, right, which is product design, and I got a job in that field, and oh, I love it so much. It's so fun. I love designing, all of that. And when like I would basically give 150% or 210% to working. Like I was working all the time because again, I mean, I don't know if it's like this for everyone. I imagine that it might be. But when you start out designing, before you even get a job, initially it's like, oh my God, this is so fun. Oh my God, this is like so empowering. Like this is so inspiring. I love this. And then you realize eventually, you like that reality check hits you. But that reality check didn't hit me until like maybe three burnouts, like very intense burnouts, and just like falling sick all the time. Because at my first job, I would work like beyond working hours a lot, right? So I mean, this was pre-COVID, so I was actually going to the office. Lucky for me, the office wasn't that far. Lucky for me, the office wasn't that far from where I was staying. Um, so I would go to the office in the morning, get there for I think 8:30 or 9 a.m. and then leave by 5 or 5:30, get home by like 6, 6:30, 7, depending on like what the traffic situation was like. And then I would literally just like go to the dining table and just like open my laptop and just resume working because I'm trying to get ahead of work or just because I enjoy my job, right? Like I love my job. So this is not work. This is like me just working on my hobbies. That's how I like that's how it was to me, right? And I kept doing this. Obviously, I mean my boss at the time would also take advantage of that, right? So like we could have like late night calls where it's like, oh, I need you to work on this thing right now. And again, because of the whole, oh, I love my job, I didn't really see it as an issue. I also wasn't really doing anything during the weekends except working, right? Or trying to practice my designs like and improve and whatnot. And like people like Mudia kept telling me that my body will tell you soon, right? Like you need to learn how to like create a balance and you need to learn how to just not work all the time. And I thought that's like, oh no, it can never be me. Like I love my job so much. I will love doing this forever. I can always work like ahead of like working hours and whatnot, whatnot. And then I just started falling sick often and I would get a lot of random headaches and I would just I don't know. It was horrible. I had a lot of burnouts that year. I know, and I think I just realized that I needed to actually create that balance and I stopped working weekends. That was one thing I did. Like I'm like weekends. The only reason I'm opening my laptop is probably to play games or watch Netflix. Like I'm not going to work weekends because like the work will wait till Monday. And also I try to minimize working overnight because I mean at the time I would literally go to bed by like 3 a.m. because like I was working on what? So like thinking back at it now, like there was nothing so important that I needed to be off till 3 a.m. But yeah, I was working till like 3 a.m. But like after like those whole like the series of burnouts, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to be doing this. I'm just going to like focus on. I think I don't even know what I was doing at the time. It was probably just Netflix because I didn't have like a lot of hobbies back then. But yeah, that was I think that was like the beginning of me just learning the whole concept of like maintaining work life balance and balancing work and play. And right now it's more like I just try to prioritize doing the things that I enjoy. I don't think I have a lot of hobbies. I don't know if I would define some of the things that I currently do as hobbies, but I mean they are things that essentially just like help me spark joy, which is what I try to do, right? Like I just basically look for ways to spark joy because like work can get extremely draining and extremely tiring. And if you don't have ways to just like build up that energy or joy back, then you just like become very soulless and lifeless. I don't think I have a lot of hobbies. I don't know if I would define some of the things that I currently do as hobbies, but I mean they are things that essentially just like help me spark joy, which is what I try to do, right? Like I just basically look for ways to spark joy because like work can get extremely draining and extremely tiring. And if you don't have ways to just like build up that energy or joy back, then you just like become very soulless and lifeless. Like, I mean, again, spark joy. Spending time with my boyfriend, going out to restaurants. Like my own idea of fun is basically just going out to eat. To be honest, like just want to spend money and give Lagos restaurants like my money and like eat good food
Yes.
and whatnot. There's something that there's a new hobby that I picked up recently, which is like drink making. I started like let's say August last year, but I haven't really been able to dedicate time to it because like work has been hectic for the past couple of months. But it's something that I really, really, really want to focus on more this year, where like I'm basically setting up a bar, right, where I would make cocktails and mocktails for myself, for my friends. Like I'm literally planning to host guy, like actually just prepare. Like I'm in the next maybe couple of months, I'm going to call you over and like call all of you guys and like you're going to like do a cocktail mocktail tasting with me at my place. So like that's coming. But yeah, like just look for different ways to spark joy. That's literally the summary of it. Like just keep work during working hours. Obviously, if there's any time that you need to like go beyond working hours, like if you absolutely need to, emphasis on need, like capital letter NEED, yeah, go ahead, right? But in situations where the work can literally wait, after working hours, I'm like done. Maybe like I give you like 1 hour after working hours, but like after that, like no, you wouldn't find me because like I know what it's like to get absolutely drained from work, and I'm trying to avoid getting back there because like it would be completely detrimental to myself and detrimental to the company as well. Like you wouldn't like me when I'm drained. So yeah,
Man, that is so profound. I mean, a lot of, a lot of people don't really talk about how you can eventually just start to fall sick all the time. Like
guy.
after multiple burnouts, you burn out, you walk through it, burn out again, and you're just in this constant state of burnout. Eventually, like you said, Mudia, you said body go tell you, yo, you I don't think you can cheat. I don't think you can cheat your body, to be honest. You just start to fall sick, the headaches, the
Yeah,
fever, it just starts to
the
manifest
headaches,
in
guy.
weird
The
ways. The
headaches are
headaches.
the worst.
The headaches, yeah. It starts to manifest in weird ways. The way I explain it to people, I like to use the treadmill as an analogy because I go to the gym and people might be able to relate to that. So if you have a goal of using the treadmill for 1 hour, you cannot sprint for 1 hour. You will drop dead,
Yeah,
especially as a beginner, right? Even athletes, if you're running a marathon, you are not sprinting the entire marathon, right? You can walk, then you sprint, maybe sprint for like 1 minute, and you walk again for like another 1 minute. You sprint again, or you can jog for like 5 minutes and then you sprint and then you walk. You just keep interchanging it. You take it to incline to make it harder for yourself. That's when you are growing. Take it back down, sprint. Like you can't sprint the entire way, or you will literally burn
yeah,
out where your heart to start, acting like it wants to give out, and you lose all your breath, and you'll be needing to drink water, you'll be feeling dizzy, you
yeah,
might want to pass out. So it's exactly the same way. So you need to pace yourself. When you need to sprint, you sprint and then you slow down again. But a lot of people don't slow down, they just keep sprinting. And we have we have a culture that incentivizes you to continue sprinting. And
Yeah.
yeah, it gets tough, to be honest.
You really have to like be intentional about it. Like you have to be intentional about just taking a breather once in a while because nobody's going to be intentional about it for you. Like I mean again, like I said, we have a culture that literally encourages just doing stuff all the time and always being productive, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but people are going to take advantage of that. The companies you work at are going to take advantage of that because, I mean, like, it's to their benefit. So if you really don't help yourself learn to calm down sometimes, nobody is going to do it for you. And I think that's like the thing about it.
Yeah, 100%, totally. Okay, let's go into hobbies. What role do you think hobbies or non-work related activities play in our lives and how they can contribute to our overall happiness?
I think I mentioned most of it like during the last question where just figuring out what makes you happy is extremely important really because I don't know. It's obviously varies from person to person, right? Like we have different people have like different levels of fulfillment from the work that they do. So like there's that to take into consideration. But I would also say that like at least for some of us, or speaking for myself, like work gets really tiring and draining sometimes, and it's like you're using a lot of mental and emotional and physical energy to just like get work done and give like your job like 150% every single day, like as much as possible. You definitely need to find ways to just get that energy back and just again, like I would keep saying, spark joy, right? Um, so hobbies definitely help with that. Hobbies are like something that I have been trying and I'm trying to like fully immerse myself in, right? Like, I mean, hobbies look different for people. Some people like gym is literally a hobby, or some people love to just go and play basketball like on random days with their guys. Some people love to go swimming. Some people like do music and like it varies from person to person. Like I said, like a hobby that I'm trying to pick up is just drink making. I'm not trying to do it like to eventually make it into a business or a side hustle. I just want to be able to make drinks for myself and for the people that I love, and also save money while at it because like the prices of cocktails and mocktails in this Lagos it really is it doesn't make sense. So yeah, um, so just like figuring out what are the things that are not necessarily low effort. I don't say low effort that would like make you happy because I mean yeah there are those things, but I mean not every hobby would be low effort. Some would require a lot of high effort, but the point is that as long as it makes you happy at the end of the day and it just like doesn't it sparks joy. Like I will keep saying that as long as it sparks joy, it makes you happy, it doesn't it just sort of like builds back up the energy that you have spent working, then definitely do it. I think like a lot of people walk around like very dead inside because they don't have ways to just make themselves happy. And again, I would keep saying this varies from people to people. So I mean at the beginning you said like some people they're 70% work and 30% sleep. Well, I don't think that's entirely healthy. Sleep is actually just enough for some people and I mean that's fine. For other people, they require like a lot more. Some people like love traveling. I love traveling. I would love to travel a lot more because like just being in a new place it literally makes me happy. I feel like if I had the opportunity to like maybe be a digital nomad for a while and just like work in different countries for like a period of time, like I'll probably be like happier than just like being in one place all the time and just like working from there. But yeah, honestly, like everybody should just find out like what makes them happy. It's like literally a continuous effort thing where you discover something new about yourself every day, every week, every month. Like as long as you actually dedicate time to like trying out new things, like find out what sticks, go for a random class like scented like a candle making class, and like, oh, maybe you like making candles, right? Or just like have a sip and paint with like a couple of friends and you realize that, oh, you actually do love painting, right? Just try out different things, try out new things, and just find ways to like spark joy, because I mean we really need it.
Yeah, definitely. Sparking joy is one of the most important things that we need, to be honest. A lot of us working in tech, we rely on just our jobs to spark joy. But I think what that eventually gets us is, I mean, it's if it's not your personal um,
Uh,
project or your startup, like if you're working for someone else. I know a lot of people talk about ownership, taking ownership in the work. I mean, you should definitely do that. I mean, that's what will get you paid more. That's what will get you the promotions, taking ownership. But in the end, if you don't really have stake in the company, the joy is the joy you're feeling is really borrowed, right? And a lot of people need to just find some spark of joy outside of that, like you just said, um taking a candle making class. I mean, I did that a couple of years ago, and it turned out it turned out pretty nice. It doesn't require much skill, but it was still nice. I took some
yeah,
paint and sip sessions, and I still have some of the paintings. When I look at the paintings, they make me happy. I can gift it to my loved ones, give it to my family. Their happiness would make me happy when they put it up on their walls.
yeah,
And I think traveling, like you said, might be one of the most underrated things. After working so hard to make money, right? You get salary, you make money, you do gigs, you work so hard. Traveling is so underrated. Like, you get to see how other people live. You get to see different cultures, different mindsets. Like, the culture shock alone is enough to just make you think back, like, wow, so people actually living like this, you know because living in Lagos or growing up
yeah,
in Lagos, Nigeria, is, you think life is a certain way, and everybody is rushing to get somewhere, everybody is hustling to do something, right? I went to Rwanda last year for the first time, and man, everyone is so chill. No one is rushing. Everyone is just, they mind their business. They're chill. They are not hard trying to fight anybody. They're just living their life. But in Lagos, I can't drive for 10 minutes without wanting to shout at another driver. There's that, the atmosphere, the vibes is just very intense. Like, everybody's fighting. Like, you step out of your house, it's like a war. You are driving, it's like a war. You go to work, it's like a war. You're you're doing everything. It's like you're fighting. You're actively fighting, like 24/7. Just living in Lagos, but
yeah,
experiencing other cultures, doing activities, having fun, like fun that you most likely will not get in Lagos. I mean, the fun we have in Lagos, you go clubbing, you go to restaurants. Restaurants are really nice. That you try different foods. I think that's one really good thing we have going for us in Lagos. The restaurants are really nice, but you could travel, do some other activities, and just to get out of that headspace, taking a break once in a while. I think,
yeah.
yeah, it goes a very long way, to be honest. But yeah, can you tell us about some of the activities that you do to take the edge off sometimes, maybe when you travel?
Uh, when I travel, most of the trips that I have gone for, except the last one that I went for, were planned by a tour agency, so we more or less like had to do what was on their itinerary, which like I've discovered that I'm not entirely a fan of. Which is why like for my last trip, which was like to Nairobi in October, I just like more or less planned the entire trip myself. Um, so that I could have control of what it is that I did. So I am a very activity. I'm like a good balance between just wanting to chill and rest versus like wanting to do fun stuff. So like we went like zip lining. I mean, I chickened out after like I think the second level. It's like three levels,
Oh,
three height
really?
levels. I only did two, and I didn't bother doing the third one because like it looked too extremely scary. I sort of regret it now because I know that I wouldn't have died, and I
Yeah,
would have
yeah.
obviously lived to tell the tale, but I didn't. But yeah, like most of what I do to just relax. And that's also like based on like Lagos, right? Because there isn't really much to do in Lagos without spending a lot of money, right? Um, but yeah, I pretty much just like check out different restaurants. Like, I mean, obviously that's also spending a lot of money, but I like eating food outside. So yeah, spend like money eating food. And like I said again, like learning how to make drinks. Just like hanging out and planning like movie days or games nights with friends. Those are the ways that I currently just try to take the edge off. Watch Netflix a lot because like I realized I think sometime last year, 2 years ago that I had stopped watching movies, stopped watching like things, because I was
Mm,
always so stressed from work, and I would either be working or I would be like sleeping, trying to recover from work,
sleeping.
or just scrolling through Twitter or Instagram. Yeah, but I have like started to just try to work. I'm sorry, try to like watch stuff more on Netflix, like Disney Plus, whatnot, more now. So now, like let's say at the end of the day when I'm having dinner, I would just like put on a show on Netflix and like watch that and finish like that and then find a new show to watch. And just like keep doing that because like it just helps me relax a bit. Especially after a long day of meetings and tasks and whatnot. Um, so yeah, I mean, when my money is longer, I would be able to do a lot more stuff. Because I imagine like there are a lot of hobbies that I haven't unlocked because I don't have the money to fund them. But yeah, that's currently what I do, and I travel when I can. I try to travel at least like since I made traveling like a thing that I love to do. I try to travel at least once or twice a year. Last year I only traveled once. The year before I traveled twice. Hopefully this year I can travel like twice or three times. But yeah, I'm aiming for at least once. So travel, do fun things in like new locations, and just I feel like there's something very exhilarating when you just like you're in a new location. It doesn't mean like you're necessarily doing anything entirely different from what you would have done like in Lagos, for instance. Like I can go somewhere else and literally do the exact same things I would do while I'm in Lagos, but it just like
Yeah,
because I'm away from home, it just like feels more exciting and it's just like more calming. So
yeah.
that definitely
Even
helps. I think like just being around people that I love. Yeah,
yeah, sorry. I
you
mean,
wanted to say something?
even yeah, even down to sleeping in a different location hits different.
Yeah,
Yeah, just putting that in
like
there.
it just feels like you're away from all the stress
Yeah,
and all like worries, and you're just like nobody can reach you. You're just chill, new environment, fresher air. Like, random? Do you realize that Lagos actually stinks? I did not
yeah,
know that Lagos.
yeah,
I did not know that. I mean, when we
yeah,
came back from Nairobi and it rained, I was like, wait, what is that smell? And I thought,
yeah,
okay, it was the location I was in. Then when I went somewhere else, I could still smell it, like completely like island mainland. I was like, why does Lagos smell? It doesn't make any sense.
yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like that's part of why we're so frustrated all the time.
We're just angry. Yeah, yeah, totally, totally. I think that's I don't know if it's unique to Lagos, but I just believe different places have their different smells, like the way the air feels, the atmosphere, and weirdly enough, I don't know if this is in my head. It might just be in my head, right? I feel like there's a filter, like what you see, the way you see things, the
What do
way
you
the
mean?
colors are, the way colors are perceived, or the way I perceive colors in Lagos is different from the
Mm-hmm.
way I would perceive colors in like the UK or something. Probably the way the sun hits Lagos. Like the filter is just different. Like if I take a video here and I take a video in like
Mm-hmm.
Rwanda or the
Mm-hmm.
UK, it's different. The colors are different. I don't know if it's in my head. It's most likely in my head, but it just feels different. Everything feels different.
No, I think I agree. I don't know if it's a sea finish thing. It's like maybe it's like that for everybody who lives in a specific place where like somewhere like the grass is greener elsewhere. But at the same
Mm,
time, I feel like there's just like a dullness to Lagos sometimes. Like it's like especially that thing where you say like you could record a video here and record the video somewhere else, and it's just there's this specific dullness to it, especially with the sky. Like maybe the clouds are not out like that, or like the sky is not blue, it's gray. Things like that. I mean, well, it varies. Sometimes like it's good, but other times it's just like everywhere just feels
yeah,
very dull. So I actually get what you're saying. Part of me feels like it may just be sea finished, but yeah.
it most likely
And I
is.
think even when I went
But
to Abuja, like Abuja also seemed like very, oh my god, like just bright and just colorful. And I came back to Lagos and I was like, what's going on here? But anyway,
yeah, I feel you, man. Okay, let's take a quick break and go through some rapid fire questions. Yes, well,
I
we are
don't like
the
rapid fire questions though, but okay. Hmm.
segments. Okay, okay, okay. I'll make it quick. So then, do you prefer light mode or dark mode?
It depends. I don't have a preference. It depends. I mean, light mode during the day, dark mode at night, and it also depends on the app. Some apps like are a permanent dark mode, some apps are impermanent light mode, some apps like are based on system settings. So it honestly depends for me.
That's interesting. Like this is the first time I'm actually hearing someone using dark mode for what it's like intended for, in quotes. Using dark mode at night because the light mode affects your eyes and light mode during the day. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Tea or coffee?
coffee, but I'm trying to get into tea more because funny enough, I grew up on like tea. My parents love tea, so we drank tea a lot, like in the house growing up, and like even still now. But I've been taking a lot more coffee lately, especially iced lattes. But I want to get back into teas. I actually like bought tea last week because I want to learn how to make iced teas and just like have a healthy balance between tea and coffee. So, but yeah, coffee by default, but tea's coming up soon.
Yeah, same here, same here. I'm also learning how to make iced tea. Okay, okay,
Oh,
okay, okay. Calling or texting?
texting, please. Texting all the time, but it's not like I'm even great at either of them. So, but yeah, definitely texting over calling. I feel like texting allows me to just like properly think up like my responses and whatnot. So, like, I would definitely always prefer text over calls, unless I have something specific that I need to say that I feel like I will not be able to properly convey over text and calling. But texting all the time, yes, please.
Nice. Are you a morning or night person?
I don't know. I feel like I'm still trying to discover that about myself. I genuinely don't know. I used to be a night person. Now I don't know what I am. I'm just a person.
Okay, so if you wake up early in the morning, how easy is it for you to get up?
I would probably. I mean, I wake up like let's say 6:30, 7:30, like depends, and I'll probably be in bed till like I have stand up by 9. So I'll take stand up in bed, and then I'll stand up from bed to like let's say 9:30, 10. So everything I'll do will probably be on my bed. So yeah, I mean that depends. That's during the week, and that's when I'm at home.
Mm.
But when I'm like at my friend's place or I'm like or during the weekends, I mean well, even then I still will not stand up till like let's say 9:30. I'll just be on my phone most likely or my laptop in bed. But what
Yeah,
am I standing up for? What am I doing up
yeah, I
when
see
I can
what
do it
you
on my bed?
mean. I see what you mean, but a genuine night person would not wake up until like 10 minutes before that stand up. Like they're taking the entire sleep time, you know. But yeah, I totally get. Sometimes you don't really know. Sometimes you might oversleep, and sometimes you're just awake on Instagram or reading something.
Yeah.
All right, all right, all right, awesome. Marvel or DC?
I would say Marvel by default because like I think Marvel makes better movies. At least like I'm talking about the cinematic universe, but at this
Yeah,
point it's like I don't think I care much. Just like make good movies that I can watch.
yeah. Did you see the new Aquaman that came out?
No, I haven't. The funny thing is, I didn't even know there was a new Aquaman coming out until like I was looking at like cinema, like showtimes, and I was trying to like find a movie to watch with my parents for Christmas. I was like, oh, Aquaman is showing. Like when I honestly did not know a new one was coming out, and I've completely forgotten about that. So you just mentioned it. Have you seen it? Is it good? Is it worth seeing? Should I just wait till like it comes out on streaming platforms?
I haven't. So a lot of people say it's not really good, but then again, people
Interesting.
say that people say something is not good to sound cool, and it might just be okay, right? But it's cool to shit on DC movies, to be honest. Some of them are bad, but it's really cool to shit on DC movies. I haven't seen it. I haven't seen the Marvels either. I mean, I wanted to, but I just couldn't make the time to do it. But specifically to
Uh,
movies, yeah, definitely Marvel movies. Take that. Okay,
you
so
should see the Marvel. I think it wasn't that bad. It was interesting. Wait, let me be sure that I remember. It was alright. It was cool. It wasn't bad. I feel like there were certain things that I felt could have been done better. What's right now? I don't remember. I feel like I got left hand in at some point. There was something I didn't understand about how they chose to approach. I don't know. Was it the ending? But it wasn't that bad. It was cool. It was cool.
yeah, I mean, when it comes to the streaming platforms, I'll definitely see everything. Like I would still watch it. So speaking of streaming platforms, Netflix or Amazon Prime or Disney Plus.
I mean, I'd say Netflix because that's what I have an active subscription to. I mean, I'm sort of subscribed or piggybacking on a friend subscription for Disney Plus, but I don't use it that much unless like I need to watch a like new Marvel show or movie that's come out. And like there's the whole VPN wahala, and my VPN
Yeah,
subscription expired like not too long ago. So, and I haven't renewed it because I mean that's a lot of money for just watching shows once in a while. So I
yeah,
mean Netflix by default. On Prime, I've watched like The Boys and there's Gen B. I think that I started watching. I haven't finished it yet. Those are the only things I pretty much watched on Prime. But I think Prime has a lot of amazing stuff that I might want to subscribe to and just like watch there.
yeah.
So
You
but
should
yeah,
check out
again, Netflix by
Invincible.
default.
You should check out Invincible. I
Invis-
think
oh
it's
yeah,
really
I
cool.
started watching that as well. Wait, Invisible is like the animation one, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I started watching that as well. Then I think like Prime subscription just like expired and didn't bother renewing because it was taking a lot of internet actually. Like it was taking a lot of like Wi-Fi was like running out like way faster than it normally would.
Oh,
And we
really?
sort of like just suspected that it was probably Prime. We don't know, but we think it was Prime because I mean we were fine before. So we just went back to Netflix, but might get it again.
Okay, okay. Oh yeah, final question. I feel like I know the answer to this one. iPhone or Android?
iPhone.
Damn. At some point you were team Android though.
I was. I mean, I'm not like I don't know. I like the pictures that I get from like my phone. I mean, sometimes I have some complaints, but I mean, that's why I switched to an iPhone, even though I was using the Pixel before. Pixel takes really nice pictures, but there's a specific, I don't know, the specific vibe that it was giving that I didn't really like, and I prefer like the vibe from the iPhone. But your phone, I don't know what phone you use, but your phone takes amazing pictures, and it's actually like very close to converting me, at least as a second phone, because your phone is like extremely good. But yeah, iPhone just because familiarity.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's easy. The way they've done the Apple ecosystem, and I have a MacBook, I have an iPad, but I don't have an iPhone. you know, like I feel like MacBooks are really amazing, iPads are also really amazing, but I can't make that decision for the iPhone over like the Samsung that I'm using, because I'm using
Yeah,
the S23 Ultra, and it's like crazy good. Like you just said, the camera, it's like really amazing. But then again, pictures are very subjective. The kind of vibe that someone will get from a Pixel, they won't get from an iPhone, and they also won't get
yeah,
from a Samsung, right? So depends on your preference, to be honest. But then
yeah.
again, yeah, okay. Let's go back to my final question, and this is
Okay.
where I would ask for like advice and practical tips for people that are working or people that are about to get into work. So, what advice would you give to professionals working in tech, or people that are just starting out and they're trying to create that work-life balance? What advice should you give to them? What should they look forward to? What should they look out for so they don't burn out and start to fall sick multiple times and just give up on work?
I would first say like don't wait till you fall sick or burn out to actually try and have a balance. I mean, learn from my mistakes. But if you don't want to learn from my mistakes, I mean, like some people have to experience things themselves to learn. So like, go for it, right? But if you can, just don't wait till you're extremely sick, drained, like to actually try to create a balance. And I would say just like prioritize your personal time, right? You're technically being paid for like a certain amount of hours. Try not to go beyond that time, where possible. Again, there are certain like exceptions. There are times you need to make exceptions depending on like how intense or urgent the work is. But like as much as possible, try to just like prioritize your personal time and just like keep your personal time separate from your like professional time. Um, and try to discover yourself. I mean, this comes easy to some people, and for like the rest of us, it's not necessarily entirely easy to discover ourselves. It's like a continuous journey. It's something that we're always learning something new about ourselves, about like what it is that we like to do, what exactly it is that sparks joy for us, and which is why like it's important to just try different things, right? Try different things, see what makes you happy, see what sticks, and just like try to do more of that. It helps to sort of document like, okay, when I did this thing, that's if you like you're like me and you can't like keep a lot of information in your head, right? Like just, oh, when I did this thing, this is like the thrill or feeling that I felt, whether good or bad. And it's like, okay, this is something I definitely want to dedicate time to doing more of, or this like, yeah, not really feeling it, so I'm just going to move on to something else. Just like try to discover yourself essentially, and just what are the things that you like that make you happy. And if it's hard to figure out, because again, like these things come easy for some people, and for others, again, like me, doesn't necessarily come easy. Discovering yourself is like not as easy as it sounds. You can literally enlist the help of AI. Like you can just like go to ChatGPT or Bard and just like, okay, these are some of the things that I generally find interesting, right? I mean, they may not sound like hobbies to you, so you can just talk like, oh, I like eating food, I like drinking cocktails, I like coffee, I like whatever I like, right? You just like write all these things down. It's like, what kind of hobbies can I engage in that can just like build up, build on these things that I already like, and like just again create hobbies from them. And I'm pretty sure AI will let you come up with like a list of really nice things that you can try. So I would definitely advise doing that. Like the point is to just like figure out what you're optimizing for, which in this situation should be joy, and just like find ways to spark joy. Whether it's by being around people, some people like derive their energy and joy from just like being around people. So if it's being around like people that you love, your friends, and just like finding ways to always be in their space and always have them in your space, then like definitely do that. Also just find out like things that make you happy for yourself. I feel like a lot of the things that I do that make me happy revolve around other people. But one goal I've set for myself this year is to figure out like what things I can do for myself, right? Like just set aside time to do things that make me happy, whether people are around or not. So, like for instance, I've never gone out alone, right? Like every time I've gone out or done something, some activity, I have been with someone. I've never gone to the movies alone. I have never like gone to a restaurant alone. I've never gone out for drinks alone. Like I'm always doing it with people, and I mean, there's no problem with that. But one thing I've decided this year is that I want to try and like at least take myself on a solo date once in this like 12 months of the year. Like let me just go out by myself once and see if that's something that I love and like I can try that. And if I find something that sticks, then that'll just become like a new thing for me that helps spark joy. So yeah, long story short, just like find ways and find things that would spark joy in your life.
And optimize for joy. I'm going to put that on my wall.
Yep, always optimize for joy. Yep, optimize. Like I
That's
always see, like I mean, some. What did you say? Sorry.
I didn't say anything. I just said awesome.
Oh yeah, I was like someone told me, I don't know, was it told me or I heard it somewhere like last year where like it was like we're always constantly optimizing for something. And I think I just like took that where it's like you're literally always optimizing for something, right? So figure out what you're optimizing for. And when me personally, I'm optimizing for my happiness. I'm optimizing for like ease of life. I'm optimizing for just being able to do the things that I want when I want. I'm optimizing for being able to love the people around me like the way they deserve to be loved, right? So most of the things that I would do, the choices that I will make, the actions that I will take, like are all based on like the things that I'm optimizing for and to help me achieve that goal. So it's like optimize for joy and do what would make you happy and give you joy, as long as you're not hurting anyone, obviously. But yeah,
Hmm. Thank you so much. That's final question I have. This has
it's
been
fine.
this has been amazing. Where can people reach out to you online if they want to find you and ask you
Uh,
more questions?
it depends. So if you're asking me like design related questions, like it's best you just reach out to me on Twitter. Um, if you are like more, your questions are like geared to more, towards just like life and optimizing for joy. Like I have more of that on my Instagram, so you can reach out to me on Instagram. So it depends on like why you're reaching out to me. But anyone works, to be honest, Twitter or Instagram. It's just like I tend to push like design and work related things to Twitter because that's where most of them are, and Instagram is mostly for anything else. But again, anyone works.
Okay. What's your Twitter and Instagram handle?
My Twitter handle is Aderinsola underscore O, and my Instagram handle is Aderinsola Oluwafemi. So my full name on Instagram and my first name underscore O on Twitter.
Nice. Thank you so much for coming on, and this has been amazing. This was a very chill episode actually. Just talking about
Thank you
joy
for
and
having me.
happiness. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming.
Because honestly, like in this life, that's all that matters, to be honest.
To be honest, Jinx. All right. All right. So this podcast is powered by Dula Studio. Dula Studio is essentially a strategic partner for rapid growing companies in need of product guidance and scalable design systems. So check us out at www.dula.studio If you want to share feedback on this podcast or submit future episode ideas, you can connect with us at Dula_studio on all social media platforms. So that's DULA_studio. And if you want to say hi to me personally, you can hit me up at Walide on all social media platforms. Thank you so much for coming, and let's do this again sometime. And we could talk about
Yeah.
something else entirely. But yeah, this has been amazing, and thank you
Yeah.
guys
Thank
for
you for having me.
listening. All right, bye.
Bye.
I'm holding on,
Okay,
just hold
so I'm
on, I'm
back.
going
Can you hear me
home.
well? Like just to be sure, can you hear me very
Yeah, I
well?
can.
Is there a delay?
No delay. All good.
Wait. I
All
think there
good. All
is.
good.
So wait, when I say one, say two immediately, right? So that like we can be sure that there's no delay. One.
Two
There's like a three to
is
5 second delay. Is that fine?
one. La 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 la. Okay. All right. So I guess we'll start. Okay. Game face. Game face. All right. Or game voice. Mm.